What's up everybody? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the love and support. This is a brand new channel and it is going so well, so I'm so happy and thank you all so much. But yeah, I wanted to film my contour and highlight routine, and this is just what I do for day-to-day basis. So I have some tips and tricks for you, and if you like this look and if you want to see how I contour my face, just keep watching. Okay, so I have already prepped and moisturized the skin using the Cetaphil Moisturizing Cream and the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Primer. And I want to show you guys just how I contour and highlight just on a day-to-day basis pretty much. Sometimes I switch it up, it just depends, but this is what works for me, and this is like my go-to routine if I just need to throw on something really quick, but I still want to be like contoured and highlighted. But yeah, so I have already gone in with foundation and I use the Makeup Forever HD stick. I love this stuff. It's really good, really full coverage and really hydrating. So if you're someone that's dry and if you're looking for a hydrating full coverage foundation, that one would be the one for you. So next I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to put this on the center of the face. So I'm going to focus it on like the under eye area, down the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, the chin, the forehead. And what that's going to do is it's just going to brighten up the center of the face a little bit. Whenever you're putting darker products on the outer perimeter of your face, you do want to brighten up that center of the face so it doesn't get lost. And what I've learned, like personally for me, when I was learning how to do all the contouring and highlighting and all that good stuff, I would just sit down every single night before I got in the shower and I would just take off all my makeup that I had on for that day, and I would just throw on makeup and just practice and practice and practice before I got in the shower and, you know, wash my makeup off for that night. So I just feel like that is personally what's helped me. So just remember, it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight. It is going to take time and practice. Another thing is make sure that you have the right tools. Make sure you're using the right brushes and the right sponges and things like that. I feel like if you just use like one brush or two brushes, you're not going to get the outcome that you want, and you're going to be upset and you're going to get frustrated with yourself. So just be sure that you do have the right products, or at least something decent for you to work with and practice with, and then maybe work your way up from there. But for right now, like I said, we're going to put the concealer on the center of the face and we're going to blend that out. So to blend that out, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I'm just going to be pressing this into the skin, and I'm going to get really close to the under eye area as well. And with this concealer, oh, I didn't tell you what concealer I used. I used the Maybelline Age Rewind, this one here. And it is more of a yellow tone concealer, so it is going to help color correct, which I personally like that. You can definitely just do something that's a little brighter than this normal skin tone. But for your concealer, if you do want to brighten up the center of the face, I would recommend going down a shade or two in your concealer. A shade or two lighter than your like foundation or your natural skin tone color. So I'm also going to be dragging this over top of the eyelids as well. And what that's going to do is it's just going to help cancel out any redness or veins or discoloration that we may have on that area. Okay, so now that we have all of that blended in, next we're going to go in with contouring. So personally for me, I like to do more of the powder contour. I do cream occasionally, it just depends. And if I do, I only do a little bit. But if you want to see a video on how to cream contour, let me know and I can do that for you. But today we're going to just stick to powder contouring just to keep it easy and simple. But yeah, since we are working with powder, I'm going to go ahead and set the concealer with this loose translucent powder. Well, it's not translucent. It does have a little bit of a tint, but it doesn't like give you color on the skin. So, and this is the Coty Airspun powder, and I'm going to be using the same sponge that we used. And whenever you're setting the under eye area, you want to press it into the skin. So I'm going to bake just a little bit, but I'm still pressing it and spreading it evenly where we laid down that concealer. So, and then later on we'll press the foundation or the powder into the skin. So setting the under eye area and the lid. And you want to set any of the cream products that you use, because if you don't, you're going to get some creasing, and any other products that you lay on top of the cream products aren't going to sit well and they're not going to blend well over top. So you do want to make sure that you are setting the cream products with a little bit of powder. And once again, this is what works best for me, so definitely play around with your products at home. Okay, so since we did just apply the concealer to the under eye area and more of the center of the face, I just wanted to set that area of the face just by itself with some loose powder. We're going to further go in and set the rest of the face with a face powder. So next I'm going to be taking the Jordana pressed powder. Okay, so right here we're just going to set the rest of the face where the foundation was. And then as we're doing this, you're going to want to press that loose powder back into the skin, just so it's not sitting on top of the skin. And once again, setting the face like this is just going to keep the cream product from moving around. That way, whenever we do go put on the bronzer and to contour, it's not going to just like look muddy, it's going to blend really smooth. Okay, so now that everything's set, we're looking a little powdery, so what I like to do personally is I'm just going to spritz the face with a little bit of hydrating spray. So right now I'm going to use this cucumber water that I found at Marshall's, I believe. So I'm going to go ahead. And I like to do that step just to give the skin back a little moisture, since we did use so many powders in the beginning and we're going to be using more powders later. Just throughout the process, I like to just give it a little bit of moisture as well. So I'm going to let this dry. Okay, so now that the face is set and it's all dry, now we can go into contouring. So I like to take the NYC bronzer in Sunny. That's what it looks like there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the product and press it or tap off the excess. So I'm going to start at the ear right here, like the top of the ear. And personally for me, I like to do a higher contour. So I'm going to create that line and then I'm going to blend up from there. So let's go ahead and create the line. Like I said, I'm going to start from the top of the ear, and you want to go in the hollows of your cheekbones. So you can see my natural shadow right here. So I'm just going to kind of follow that shadow. And always keep your brush moving. Don't sit it in one spot and then blend away. Keep it moving. That's going to help the product blend a little easier. Okay, so now that we have our basic line, I'm going to go ahead and take this brush and just blend upward with it, doing little circular motions, I guess. So that's going to be your basic contour line right there. And whenever you're contouring and whenever you're creating that line, just be sure that you're not going like too close to the mouth. I've seen that mistake so many times, and it is noticeable. So just be sure that you're not going close to the mouth. Make sure that you do have a lot of space between the mouth and your contour line and where it stops. So let's move on to the other side. And again, you want to make sure that you're blending the contour up. So once you've created that line, you never want to blend down below the line. You always want to blend up with it. Okay, so next I'm going to contour the nose just a little bit. I don't know where this brush is from. It's just a fluffy brush. So anything that you have at home that is similar to this will work. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that same bronzer and I'm going to tap off the excess. And whenever you're contouring the nose, it can get tricky and it can get muddy and noticeable really quick. So just be careful with it. Take your time. But I'm just going to go down the sides of the nose. So again, I'm going to go on this side and I'm using really light pressure. Okay, so now that we have the nose pretty much contoured a little bit, I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to dip into that translucent powder that we used earlier, and I'm going to run that down the sides of the nose. And what that's going to do is it's going to clean up the contour a little bit. And next I'm going to take that same sponge and I'm just going to press all of that into the skin. So next I'm going to be bronzing up the rest of the skin. I'm going to go in with the Tarte brush. It doesn't say what number this is. I believe this was a holiday collection. But I'm just going to bronze up the rest of the skin using that same bronzer. And I'm just going to go on the top of the forehead. So since you do have the contour down, you still want to bronze up the rest of the face. I'm going to take that same brush. Actually, I'm going to go in with this brush. This is it's just a blush brush. I'm going to go in with this one here and pick up some of that product. And again, I'm going to keep the brush moving, but we're going to go above the line and we're going to blend up. Just like that. So you have a strong contour, but you have some bronzer with it, so it's going to help blend it all really well together. That way it doesn't look like you have just like one line. And that is how I pretty much contour. Now I'm going to clean it up a little bit using some of that same translucent powder and the same sponge that we used earlier. And I'm going to go right underneath the contour line and just clean it up. Yeah, so that just cleans it up a little bit. Next we're going to go in with highlighter. And I'm going to be using the Tarte Expose highlight. And I'm going to be using the Anastasia A23 brush to apply my highlight. But I'm going to spray the brush a couple times with the Hydrating facial spray. And then I'm going to dip into the highlighter. And I said this before in a previous video. This is just what I like to do, and this is what I find that works best for me, and I like that look. I like that dewy, wet look. So if you're having trouble with your highlighter going on a little powdery, try this trick and it will help you, I promise. Okay, so whenever you're highlighting, you do want to make sure that you find the right shade of highlighter for you and your skin tone. It can be really easy to mess it up. Not mess it up, but it can be really easy to pick out the wrong shade, I guess. So obviously the ones that are lighter and that are more like vanilla undertone or vanilla tones, they're going to work better on fair skin. And something that is more of like a white undertone that may have like a reflex with it, like a blue reflex or anything like that, those are going to work better on fair skin and fair and lighter tones. So going up from there, more of like the golden tones, peachy tones, things like that, those are going to work better on medium skin tones. And then bronzy shades and deeper gold shades are going to work better on darker skin tones. So just keep that in mind whenever you're picking out your highlighter. I tried to use this highlighter in the summer and it just did not work for me, obviously, because it is more of a vanilla shade and it is for lighter skin. But yeah, just be sure that you're picking out the right highlighter for your skin tone. So I'm just going to apply this on the top of the cheekbone, and you want it to be above the contour. So you want to just highlight the top of the cheekbone area, and you don't have to put this much on. You can do as much as you would like and as much as you're comfortable with. But this is where I'm going to apply it. And then you can see that there is a difference right here. So we're going to be sure to blend that out, taking that same blush brush, and I'm just going to blend all of that out. That way there aren't any harsh lines. I'm also going to spritz this sponge that we used earlier with that same water. And I'm going to press the highlighter into the skin. That way it doesn't give like a powder look, like I was saying before. And it's going to help the two melt really well together. So the bronzer and the highlighter, they're going to blend really well together if you do that step. So let's go ahead and do the other side. I already sprayed my brush and I'm going to be applying it to the top of the cheekbone. And I like to go around my temple as well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just threw on some lashes and a lip color. The lashes that I have on are the Salon Perfect Demi Wispies, and the lip color that I have on is the Jordana Sweet Cream Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Cinnamon Toast. So hopefully this helps you all, especially with like a basic contouring and highlighting video. This is just what I've done for a while, and like I said, I change it up from time to time, but this is pretty much what I do on a day-to-day basis, especially if I do want like a strong contour and a strong highlight, which is pretty much every day. But other than that, I hardly ever use creams except for like events and things like that. Like I used a cream contour on my wedding day and it turned out absolutely beautiful. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, if you want me to do a video strictly with cream contouring, I can do that for you. Just let me know. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and since this is a new channel, we are killing it. We're on a roll and I'm just going to keep up with it, so y'all keep up with me. And I appreciate all the love and support once again, and stay tuned for what's coming next. Bye!